Well, sports fans, it's my sad duty to report that the Spectre failed to return from its last mission and probably will never be seen again. The flight in question took place on Saturday, and I probably shouldn't have gone up at all. It was a very windy day, but one of the other club members had lost his twin-engine Gemini FPVing out towards the mountain, and he and another member were off hunting for it. I thought I'd hang around just in case they needed some emergency services called. So I decided to put the Spectre up and fly down towards up towards the north end of the valley. The wind was coming down the valley probably at about 15 to 20 kilometres an hour. But I'd flown down there before, and I thought it was safe. If I ran, I'd be going with the wind on the way back. Anyway, that was my first mistake. So I managed to get into the air, which was good because just the day before I'd launched it badly, and it had slashed my fingers with the prop as it left my hand, and so I'll have a few scars to remember the bitch by. But yeah, so here we are on the way down the valley. I'm having to burn a little bit more power than usual to make the altitude because of the wind, but we're a kilometre and a half out here, climbing up to 400 metres. The battery's down below 11 volts, but I think that's a temporary thing because I'm drawing more current than usual out of it. So it's all going well at this stage. So I'm getting a bit bumped around by the wind. It's blowing me off course here. You can see it's blowing me to the west, and I'm having to correct and bring it back. But nothing untoward. So I'm up over the 500 metres here now. Still getting buffeted around a bit, but I'm starting to ease back on the power and hoping to see the battery voltage go down a bit. But out at 2 kilometres, the last flight I had, I lost video at about 2.5 kilometres, and I'm hoping that won't be the case here. I found that so long as I stayed above 500 metres I was okay, and I've aligned the antennas a little bit further to the north, so I'm fully expecting to get further distance. Again, I'm getting blown off track towards the west, but coming back on. So here we are at 3.5 kilometres, and video is still pretty good. Looks like I've been caught in a thermal though, because the plane's gone up over 600 kilometres, 600 metres I should say, which is probably a lot higher than I need to be, and I actually start angling down to shed a bit of that height. That turns out to have been my second mistake of the day. So I brought it back down about 500 metres, and I lose video for probably 10 or 15 seconds, during which I slip it into return to home mode, and when the video comes back I'm heading for home, which is towards the south. So I adjust the antenna a little bit to the north and carry on. So we're just turning back towards the north. Unfortunately, I hadn't noticed that the altitude had dropped below 500 metres, which was my third mistake of the flight. And I immediately start losing video, but don't panic too much about it. I think it'll come good. But the plane seems to be blowing west. So I slip it back into return to home mode, expecting it to the video to come good, but on this occasion it just doesn't. After about a minute of static, I peek out from under my goggles at my transmitter and realise that I have made my fourth mistake, and instead of flipping it into return to home mode, I've flicked the switch from manual mode. So it's been flying by itself for the last minute. I madly flick it back into return to home mode and cross my fingers and hope that it hasn't lost too much altitude in the meantime to make it back. But after waiting for 10 minutes, I'm forced to conclude that it has gone down somewhere between 4 kilometres out and home, and I've got a walk in front of me. So this is the last usable frame from the video feed. As you can see, I'm 4 kilometres from home and I'm about 400 metres in altitude, and from the radar screen in the middle, the plane's heading south. So the wind's obviously caught it and blowing it, but yes, it's just a matter of figuring out the best way to get there and then wondering how close I need to be from the search area is going to be pretty big, so I'm not looking forward to the task. So this is a Google Earth printout of the valley. The club where I started is down on the right hand corner, and the plane's last coordinates are at the top left hand corner. Up above that to the right is the closest I was able to get to it by road, which is about 1.5 kilometres, and I thought rather than walk in from there, I'd probably be better off starting from home and walking out, because if the return to home did kick in, the plane may have gone down somewhere between here and home. So I started off by climbing the hill to the north of the club, thinking that best case scenario, it's lost enough height to fly back but not get over the hill, but I didn't find it there. Needless to say, I didn't find it anywhere else either. The grass in that valley is fairly high in a lot of places, so it's quite possible that I could have walked close to it and just not seen it, but in all likelihood I think it's just blown into the foothills there during that 1 minute when it was flying itself before I put it in a return home mode. So it just could be anywhere. It's a huge area, and I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and get myself another one. But not the plane's fault. As I said, I had to make 4 pretty stupid mistakes to lose this plane, so I'm still pretty happy with it, and maybe I'll have learned a lesson or two about being more careful with my transmitter switches. But yes, probably a new plane next time I'm posting a video.